matters look very complicated from looking outside. We had a failed state since 1991. And then 1993, when the United States of America tried to bring law and order in Somalia, there was a lot of misunderstanding, and that system did not work. But the main issue here is the intervention of the Ethiopians. They have been involved and to make sure that there is no system emerged from Somalia. They have been undermining all the Somali governments that were established from 1991. They armed warlords and they assisted and provided weapons to the warlords. And that eventually, when peace came to Somalia during the 2006, when the Islamic courts came and brought peace and order, the Ethiopians again came this time on top of a tank, and their troops came in Mogadishu, the capital. So the essential problem in Somalia and the stabilization of Somalia is being coordinated by the Ethiopians through the warlords. And unless and until the international community realizes that and it stops the intervention of Ethiopia, there will not be any peace in Somalia. So we are here as Somali Americans trying to educate our public officials that if you really want to bring peace and order in Somalia, leave the Somalians alone and make sure Ethiopia does not intervene any order that comes to Somalia.
Now, of course, the Islamic Courts Union is, of course, a central element here. One of the reasons, of course, the United States is very uneasy about the Islamic Courts Union is the fact of the first word in that name, Islamic Court Union. And as we know, the U.S. has been engaged in an ongoing so-called war on terror, which a lot of Muslims around the world view as a war on Islam. The Islamic Courts Union have taken over the town of Baidoa in the south and have declared Sharia law in that town. Mohammed, and I also want you, Abdul Qadir, to address this issue of the Islamic Courts Union. Could you tell us how much support exactly does the Islamic Courts Union have, and what prospects are there for the ICU to be able to govern Somalia in a peaceful way?
Well, we have a track record that you can see. When the Union of Islamic Courts were there was peaceful in Somalia. They reopened the airports, they opened the seaports, people were abiding them, because at least that's one thing in common for the Somalis. And I don't think there's a problem if a Muslim nation tried to rule themselves with Islam. And unfortunately, Mele Zenawi took advantage by using the T card, which is a terrorist card.
The president of Ethiopia.
Yes, the prime minister. And he's actually a very ungrateful man. That's man, he came to our country as a refugee. We helped him. We opened our doors. We give our camel milk, banana. I mean, you can name it. We were very free education in our country. He speaks our language, and he turned around and tried to bite the hand that feed him.
This was early in his career.
Yeah, absolutely. So if the West, hopefully there's a hope in the air with this great president, which, by the way, I'm one of the people who voted for him, and I love the guy. Hopefully his father himself is from Kenya, which is our neighbor country. And I wrote him a letter. I hope he's going to respond back, and I'm planning to write one to Secretary of State Clinton, which I really admire her. What we really need, United States, is to use people like us, who are American citizens now, but at the same time, we are people who are our native countries from that country. As I said, I put my life on the line for the United States when they want to Operation Restore Hope.
And Abdul Qadir, how would you characterize the support of the Islamic Courts Union?
The Somali people are 100% Muslim, and they sympathize anything that has to do with the Sharia. And as such, the Union of Islamic Courts had a very popular support from the Somali people. And the thing that really we need to emphasize is that the notion that that when people use Islam as a way of life, as to be perceived them as dangerous is what put us through the lot of problems that we are in Somalia. So the main thing that we need to focus as far as our public officials are concerned here in the United States is that we need law and order in Somalia. And if one thing that Somali connects to each among themselves is the Islam, since all of them are Muslims. So we should not view that as an ideology that scares people, that causes trouble. We should see it as actually a positive change, something that can connect Somalis, can solve the problems through negotiation, through discussions, and as such that we can bring the Muslims or the people who can contribute to bring stability in Somalia. And I think that the Obama administration has really a great opportunity here to clear the air and let the Somalis know, that the Americans are good friends with Somalis, and they want to promote peace and tranquility. If someone emerges and takes the helm of Somalia, and he hails from the ICU, Union of Islamic Courts, I think we should support that person and give them as much help as possible.
Well, I'd like to invite our listeners out there to contribute to this conversation. Give us a call, 202-588-0893. That's 202-588-0893 if you have a question or comment on Somalia. Now, Abdul Qadir was just mentioning to us this opportunity that Barack Obama has, and we have President Yusuf Abdullahi resigning and the Ethiopians pulling out. The question, Mohammed, now, what happens?
There is a conference going in Djibouti where the United Nations is working. There is a group called the Re-Liberation of Somalia that Sheikh Sharif is the head of it, negotiating with the TFG. I would have encouraged it. I don't know whether they can delay this or not. If there are elements that's missing, like the Asmara group, to be joined it, because if the peace is not everybody there will be a problem later on. Somebody who's unhappy because all the Somalis belong to the country. And there's also, we have to be realistic and see on the ground, the people who are gaining the ground, you can't just ignore them and try to impose. So it's going to become a failure if we really do not be smart enough to incorporate everybody, all the elements, as an inclusive peace going on. But I wish if leader, the people would be happy with being chosen. I think the Somalis can be bringing back together into a governing, inshallah.
Indeed. Again, our number here is 202-588-0893. But a very quick question, Abdul Qadir, then. What do we see then, when we're looking at the central town, of course, of Mogadishu, which is the capital of Somalia, and which is, I guess, the point of contestation. It was a city without the government itself couldn't even sit in Mogadishu.
It's true.
Right now, what do we see happening to Mogadishu?
First of all, there was a lot of media speculation and worldwide view that if the Ethiopians leave, there will be security vacuum in Mogadishu, or there will be infighting between Somalis, and that never materialized. And that's a good news to all Somalis, that what was being propagated as a security vacuum never been materialized. But what people forget is that when Ethiopians came to Mogadishu was peaceful. They made it unstable because of their presence. But as far as right now, with the news that we're hearing from Mogadishu, that people are returning to Mogadishu, businesses are settling, neighbors and families are getting together now. So there's a hopeful news that's emerging from Somalia, and we are very, very glad the Ethiopian finally withdrew from Somalia.
I want to go to the phones now to take a few questions. And our first caller is Tesfa from Arlington. Welcome to Africa Now.
Thank you. 2 years ago, when the Ethiopian soldiers invaded Somalia, lots of Ethiopians and Somalis were at the Lafayette Park opposing this invasion.
This is in front of the White House.
In front of the White House. And both of us, Ethiopians and Somalis, are against this invasion and against this war, which created lots and lots of massacre and millions of refugees. And that was uncalled for, and that was a massacre against another African people.
Could I ask you, Tesfa, just maybe you could identify if you where you're from?
I'm from Ethiopia.
Okay.
I'm from Ethiopia. I'm very close to the Somali border. I'm from a province called Harar. So I grew up with Somalis. And